and at how the smallest things connect to the biggest things in our universe. So that little snowflake and the curiosity about it takes us to these huge kind of scientific mysteries.
It's such a beautiful story, that. And, you know, with that graphic, I said, actually, I want it to look a bit like Harry Potter, you know, which it does. But it's this bridge in 1609. And it's really the birth of modern science, I would say. Around that time is when people start to really think about nature and think about the universe.
Well, how do you do that in a stage show? How do you bring that to life for an audience?
Well, in the big arenas, it's great fun for me because I just say, how much LED screen can we fit in the O2 or wherever it is? And they say, you can have this much. And then my promoter says, I don't know about that. And I said, no, it'll be great. So I think they're going to be something like 30 metres by 14 metres on this wall.
Almost real size.
Well, it's as much as you can fit in these arenas. But the thing is, so not only can you tell the story of that Kepler, you know, thinking about how a snowflake, why are they all six-sided? But also the new images we have from things like the James Webb Space Telescope. Almost every day there are these incredible images of of star-forming regions and galaxies colliding, and they're so beautiful now, and you never see them at that scale. So you could almost just do a sort of 2-hour screensaver. I'm not going to do that, but you could almost do that.
It would be beautiful.
Sounds easy.
It would, yeah.
It'd be quite chilled.
This is a bit of information for you. So last year, Brian here had the highest grossing science tour. Ever, I think. People are calling you the Taylor Swift of science.
It was the Boston Globe. I thought that's going on the poster, the Taylor Swift of science. But it does surprise. It doesn't surprise me in a way, because when I talk to people, you know, we were talking backstage earlier. You know, these questions about the origin of the universe. How did we come to be here? You go back 13.8 billion years. There was just hydrogen and helium. And you say, well, so how did a load of hydrogen and helium in 13.8 billion years end up having a conversation? Is a good question.
It's very
and
good.
I think everybody's interested in those questions. It's just framing them in the right way and making them beautiful.
But you update the tour constantly because, of course, there are new discoveries being made all the time. So if you now say we're going straight from here to an arena, what would be the thing in tonight's tour that would reflect that?
You know, at the moment, there's a lot of discussion about this comet, this remarkable comet. It's called Atlas 3I. That's coming through the solar system. And we're finding more and more out about that comet as we go. It's just going past Mars at the moment. I think it's wonderful that we've got photographs from the rovers on the surface of Mars.
Which doesn't look like much there, to be fair, does it?
You think about what that is. That's a photograph from a robot on the surface of Mars that looked up at the sky and saw that, which we now know is something from another solar system. And there's an estimate a couple of days ago that it might have formed 7.5 billion years ago, that thing. So it was made before the Earth and the Sun had formed out of a cloud of dust. And it's been on its journey across the Milky Way galaxy. And the thing I find remarkable, it's part of the tour really, it's only 400 years that we were arguing about whether the Earth went around the Sun. It's only 400 or 500 years ago. Now we've sent spacecraft to the planets that Kepler and others were seeing move in the sky, and we're taking photographs of interstellar comets from the surface of other planets in about 400 years. So that, to me, is a remarkable story that we've been able to do that. And that thing...
And hope.
It
gives me hope, that. A bit of hope for the future, doesn't it? That we can change so much in a relatively short time, as you say.
I think it really does. I mean, the scientific progress has been remarkable. And so it tells us that one day, it's almost the last thing I say actually in the live show, is that if we can carry on doing this, and it's not clear that we will, but if we can, we will one day reach the stars.
Wow. Do you know what, Matthew, you won't mind me saying, I know you've had a chat before the show, but you are a bit of a fan.
I am, yeah. I wish you'd put Brian on last. My show's going to sound very insignificant compared to all that existentialism.
Absolutely not. It's the mix we like. But, Brian, sometimes the last thing you hear in your ear before going to sleep, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't just fall asleep then, not because it was boring, but I literally listen to some of Brian's videos on YouTube at night when I'm trying to fall.
I put him to sleep.
Yeah, he really does. It's amazing, actually. I'm so fascinated by all of it, and I just think the way that he describes describes it. And like he says, the way he frames these questions, that actually there can't be anyone on earth that isn't interested in these things, but the way he frames them and the concise way in which he explains them for laymen such as I, it's remarkable. I am a genuine big fan.
You are remarkable. And I have to mention Jackie, my mother-in-law. I'm sorry, she is absolutely in awe, and she was so excited that I was going to meet you tonight. Genuinely.
Is Jackie watching?
Jackie will be watching.
Jackie's watching.
Where's Jack? Hello, Jackie.
Oh, that would be make her day.
Well, you can see Brian on tour in Emergence next year across the